Welcome everyone. Here in the previous class we have discussed about pollen pistil interaction. Here all the events which takes place from this stigma, from this, that is the pollen grain on the stigma, the pollen grain on the stigma till it produces the pollen tube, and it enters, this pollen tube comes here near this entry. It will be either from here or from these integuments or from this chalaza itself. So from this falling of pollen tube, pollen grain on the stigma, after this pollen grain falls on the stigma or the pistil, it will be recognizing the pollen grain first. It will be recognizing the pollen grain first. So whether it is compatible or not. If it is compatible pollen grain, then the stigma will allow the pollen to grow this pollen tube. Okay. And if the pollen is not compatible, if the pollen grain is not compatible, the stigma will not allow this pollen to grow this pollen tube. Okay. So based on the same species, the pollen grains will be accepted or the rejected. Based on the compatibility, the pollen grains will be accepted or rejected by the stigma. So the events which takes place from this falling of pollen on the stigma, then pollen, that is pollen giving rise to a pollen tube, then pollen tube entering into the ovule, that is pollen tube carrying the male gametes entering inside the ovule through micropyle, that is mesogamy, or through this integuments from here or here, then that micropyle, that is porogamy. Then if it is entering into the ovule through integuments, then that is mesogamy. If it is entering through chalaza, this hole is this, if it is entering into through this one chalazel end, then it is called as chalazogamy. So from here till it enters, this whole interaction is called as pollen pistil interaction. The whole interaction is called as pollen pistil interaction. The whole event is called as pollen pistil interaction. Now the pollen will be entering inside this embryo sac. Here in this embryo sac, for example, these are the synergids. There two synergids are there, and this is the egg cell. This is the central cell with diploid nuclei, and these three are the antipodals. These three are the antipodals. Now here in the synergids, there will be a structure which is called as filiform apparatus. There will be structure called as filiform apparatus. Filiform apparatus. Okay, so in the synergids there will be a structure called as filiform apparatus. This whole, this two synergids and this egg, this whole together, this is called as egg apparatus. Okay, in the egg apparatus, two synergids and one egg will be present. Okay, inside the synergids, there is a structure called as that is filiform apparatus will be seen. Okay, this filiform apparatus will be guiding the entry of male gametes. This filiform apparatus, it will be helping in guiding of male gametes to egg and central cell. To egg and central cell. So if this is the pollen tube, okay, inside the pollen tube, here those two male gametes was there. So this male gamete has transferred from here, so it came here. Okay, now two male gametes are here. So now it will be released somewhere. This pollen will release the male gametes here somewhere. Now there are filiform apparatus. Pollen will release, pollen tube will release. Pollen tube will not enter into this embryo sac. Pollen tube will enter into this ovule and releases the pollen grain, that is male gametes here. It has released the male gametes here. Now from here this male gamete, one gamete has to go to this egg and one gamete has to go to this central cell. Okay, one gamete has to go to egg and one gamete has to go to this central cell. So this entry of gametes or this reaching of this gamete, this to this and this to this, it is done by this filiform apparatus. What I said, filiform apparatus guides the male gamete to egg and the central cell. Okay, so this whole interaction is the pollen pistil interaction, after which the filiform apparatus will help in the guiding of male gametes to the egg and the central cell. Okay, so this process will take place. But here what happens is, this knowledge about the pistil interaction, pistil and pollen interaction has gained this plant breeder with a vast knowledge, has helped the plant breeder with the vast knowledge. Now what they, with the help of this knowledge, now what plant breeders did was they devised a technique. So that technique is called as, here they devised different crop improvement techniques. One of the crop improvement technique is artificial hybridization. Based on the knowledge of pollen pistil interactions, they devised different crop improvement techniques. So that if the crops are improved, if the crops are good now, then selling value will also be good. So this fruit, formation of this fruit is dependent on how this how the pollen and pistil interaction. If the pollens are good enough, if the over is also good now, the production of fruit will also be good. So here they will, with the help of this knowledge now, this knowledge has been used in crop improvement techniques, and one of the crop improvement technique is artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization is one of the crop improvement technique. This pollen technique, pollen pistil interaction, the knowledge between pollen pistil interaction has been very good for those plant breeders, because of which they have devised various techniques to improve their crops. One such technique is artificial hybridization. So what happens in this artificial hybridization? What the plant will do is, here the breeders will allow the growth of pollen, only the desired pollen grain on the stigma. They will be help, that is these pollen, the plant breeders, what they will do, they will only help, that is put the pollens which are used, that is they'll pick the plants which have good characters. Plant breeders will pick the plants which have good characters, and from those good character plants they will collect the anthers, they will collect the pollen grains. They'll collect the pollen grains. Those pollen grains from the plants with useful and very good qualities, they'll collect that pollen grains and put that pollen grain on the stigma. Put the pollen grain on the stigma. How they will be doing this process? Even, for example, if this is the pollen grain, if this is compatible pollen grain, so stigma will allow the pollen to, that is develop the pollen tube. So even if the pollen tube is even if the pollen is compatible, the breeders will remove this pollen, because this pollen is not of good qualities. This pollen is not of good qualities. So the fruits or the crops which are produced by this pollens might not be that of very high qualities. Why high qualities? So what they do is, they will, that is the plant breeders will apply this technique of artificial hybridization. What they do in this artificial hybridization, they use two techniques. One is emasculation technique and the second is bagging technique. They use these two techniques, emasculation and bagging. So what they do is, see here, if this is a plant, if this is a flower, okay, here in this anthers are present as well as this pistil is also present. But pollen grains of this same flower the plant is not good enough, they are not having good characters. Okay, so what they do is, before the anthers matures, before they release the pollen grain, they will remove these anthers by using the forceps. By using the forceps, they will remove the anthers. If anther is not there, there is no pollen grain. No pollen grain means this will not receive any pollen grain. So in order to avoid the self-pollination, what the plant breeders will do, so they will remove the anthers. They will remove the anthers by using the forceps before the anthers dehisce. That is, removal of anthers before it dehisces. It dehisces means, because when anthers dehisce means rupturing of anthers, thereby releasing the pollen grains. So before they ruptures, before they release the pollen grains, anthers are removed from the flowers. Anthers are removed from the flowers. This technique of removal of anthers before it dehisces, it is called as emasculation. What it is called as? Emasculation. Emasculation is nothing but removal of anthers before they dehisce, so that that pollen grain does not reach this stigma. Okay, one thing they will do. First thing what they do in artificial hybridization, two things will be done. Okay, what is the first thing? Removal of anthers with the help of the forceps. That technique is called as emasculation. Okay, now second thing what they do is, they will cover the stigma. They will cover the stigma with a bag. They'll cover a stigma with a bag. Even they don't want the pollens to stick on this stigma, to come and sit on the stigma. Because if the pollen will come, if compatible pollen comes and sits on the stigma, then process of fertilization will be followed. Okay, they don't want this fertilization with this pollen or any other pollen. They want the pollen of their choice to sit on the stigma. They have collected the pollens from the desired plants. Desired plants, the plants which were having good qualities, the pollens have been collected. They don't want pollen of this plant. They don't want pollen of any other plant. They will be putting, for example, this is the plant. They have collected pollens from this plant. This plant is having good qualities. This plant is having good qualities. Okay, first thing they have done is, they have collected the pollens from this plant with the good qualities. Next thing, here on this they have removed these anthers. Anthers was there they have removed the anthers. This removal of anther is called as emasculation. Okay, now apart from removing anthers, simultaneously they have covered the stigma with a bag. Okay, this bag will be of butter paper or some polythene paper, or butter paper. They mostly uses butter paper. So they make a bag of butter paper and cover it on the stigma. Now stigma is covered. No pollen will be coming and sitting. Not this pollen, because it has already been removed, nor the other pollen from any other plant will come and sit on the stigma. They have assured that no pollen will reach the stigma. How they have assured? By putting the bag on the stigma, by covering the stigma with the help of the bag. So this technique is called as bagging technique. This technique is called as bagging technique. Now this pollen cannot reach the stigma, or any other pollen cannot reach the stigma. So what they do is, when the stigma matures, okay, when it is that is sufficient, when the growth is proper, when it is able to receive the pollen grain, when the stigma is mature enough to receive the pollen grain, at that time what flower farmers or the breeders will do, they will carefully remove this bag. They'll carefully remove this bag, pick this pollen grain which they have collected. They have collected this pollen grain now they will they'll remove the bag. They'll remove the bag after bagging. Okay, after bagging, when they see the stigma has matured, they will remove this bag and they will put this pollen which they have collected on the stigma, okay, of the same species only. This pollen will be of the same species but with good characters. Okay, but with good characters. Now they'll put on it, then again they will cover it. Again they will cover it so that the pollen does not go anywhere and the stigma is not infected with any other pollen. Okay, so they will cover it again. So this is called as rebagging. That is, rebagging is nothing but covering the stigma. Covering the stigma again after dusting the pollen grains. They'll dust the pollen grains on this. After dusting the pollen grain, again they will cover the stigma with the bag. So this process of covering the stigma with the bag again, this is called as rebagging. Now with the help of this rebagging, the plant breeders have, they are assured that there is no more infections, that is no more, what we call it as other pollen grains will not be infecting these plants. There won't be any more infections, and the desired characters, that is the characters which they want, will be seen in the fruit which is produced by this ovary. Because when pollen will be there now, it will be after pollen, it will release this, it will produce this pollen tube, the male gametes will be coming, this whole process will take place. That is, when they put the pollen on this one and bag it again, the pollen produces pollen tube. Pollen tube will reaches this the ovule and it releases the male nuclei. This male nuclei will be taken to the egg and this diploid cell with the help of this filiform apparatus. With the help of this filiform apparatus. Now, when fertilization, that is when male gamete fuses with the female gamete, so they will, because of this methods, now that is artificial hybridization, they will be getting the plant with desired characters. They will be getting plants with desired characters. How plant breeder will be doing, will be getting the desired characters? By applying a technique called as artificial hybridization. In artificial hybridization, the plant breeders will do two things. First is emasculation, that is forcefully removing the anthers before they dehisce with the help of the forceps, and simultaneously the stigma will be covered with a butter bag or some bag with a good material. They will be covering it so that the bag should be of such material that it should have pores. It should allow air. Okay, so now it will be helping, that is this covering the stigma with the bag, that is the bagging technique. Then when the stigma is mature enough, they'll remove this bag, they'll dust this pollen, desired pollen on the stigma. Stigma will receive this pollen, then again they will cover the stigma with the bag, that is rebagging. So this whole process techniques all includes under hybridization, artificial hybridization, by which the plant breeder ensures that the plant with the new plant or the new flower or the crop which they will be getting will be of the improved variety, because they have used the desired pollen. So that desired pollen will be showing the good results in the crops, and the crop which will be produced will also be the good crops. So this is nothing but artificial hybridization. In the next class, we will take up what happens after this male gamete reaches this embryo sac. What are the different processes which will be taking place.